guest runs one of the world's leading manufacturers and distributors of personal heart health products, among other cool things, with 50 years of medical device category leadership. Returning into tomorrow with us. It's been a while, but we're glad to have the CEO and president of OMRON Healthcare, Ranndy Kellogg. Ranndy, welcome back. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me, and it has been too long.
I know, 10, 11 years, my gosh, and you guys have come out with so many new cool things since then. We got to fix that and have you on much more frequently.
Absolutely.
Because you've always got neat stuff. What are you showing here at CES?
So at CES this year, we're focusing on really two things. One is the launch of our remote patient monitoring program in the UK.
Oh.
We already launched one in the US 2 years ago at the virtual CES in 2021, and we've been continuing with that product and growing it. But this year we're launching in the UK a separate remote patient monitoring program specifically designed for their health system, for their needs, for their patients, and allows the patient to take readings at home. They get transferred to the doctor automatically. The doctor can make quick determination of any issues or challenges that they have. And it's working with the NHS, which is the National Health Service,
Right.
because they're trying to reduce the number of times you come back to see the doctor.
Yeah.
So if in between meetings you can look at the readings and say, Dave's fine, why do I need to see him? Cancel the appointment. They save money. Someone else can move into that appointment because if you recall or you may know, in the UK it's really hard to get an appointment.
Yeah.
So if they can
Takes a
shrink
while.
that, it takes a while.
Yeah.
It can take months.
Yeah.
So if they can shrink that down, it'll make their system more efficient. And we're going to be their partner in doing that, especially around heart health issues.
So certainly saying one of the world's leading manufacturers is accurate because you are literally a global company.
Yes, yes. And that's the second one we've done. We're also working in Singapore on one. We're working in India on one. And every day we're trying to improve the one in the U.S.
Sure.
People ask me, what are you doing new with it? I say, every 6 weeks we do something new. Because the software platform, the digital health platform, let's call it,
Right.
we change it with feedback from our users, whether they're patients or whether they're actual physicians themselves. We update it, and every 6 weeks a new version comes out. Just like you might get on your smartphone, we release new versions, so we don't have to wait for a year or 2 years.
They update automatically.
They
right?
update automatically. We inform them of them, and they get the features they want because they're the users.
Sure.
We're designers, and
Yeah,
we design something that sounds great. When the user uses it, they say, no, it needs to be like this, and that's our cue. Put it in the cycle. Every 6 weeks we launch a new product, a new system, bring it out.
That's awesome. I know one of the things that you're working hard on this year is the whole AFib pandemic, if you will, right? Epidemic.
Yes.
There's all kinds of issues with that. How is that, or why is that so important, and what are you guys doing to help address it?
So AFib is one of the leading causes of strokes. And about 20% of the people that have hypertension have AFib, but they don't even know it.
Oh.
And there's so many people that don't know it overall. Awareness is really, really low, and we're trying to improve that. In 2020, we launched this product, our OMRON Complete, which is a blood pressure monitor plus a AFib detector. So if I turned it on, I could take my blood pressure and I could take my AFib right here and now. It would have an EKG reading, and it would tell me if I have AFib, if I have other rhythm problems, as well as my blood pressure. Then I can share that information with my doctor.
Sure.
And many people say, well, Ranndy, you launched this 3 years ago. Why don't you bring out a new product? We aren't looking to bring out a new product yet because we need to grow awareness of the current product and awareness of AFib.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know you have it, you go to the store, you're not going to buy this.
That's true.
But if you have it or suspicious that you have it, or you have a family history.
I was going to say, runs in the family.
Runs in the family. And with COVID, 1 out of 20 people released from the hospital with COVID ended up with AFib.
Oh.
So we don't know what the connection is. That's a study someone did. But having a unit that can tell you what's going on, would be much, you'd feel much better.
Yeah.
You'd say, okay, I know I have a little bit of a problem. This helps me get there and get there very easily.
And you use your cell phone, right, for the
Yes, you
details.
use your cell
and
phone for
storage.
the.
And I was going to say, if we're not going to do any HIPAA issues for you, I know you did it right before we went on the air here, so that Chris can show the monitor and you can talk about the kinds of readings that you get.
So right before we started, I did a EKG. You can see pieces of it here. I could open it up and you can see the whole EKG, which I can't read and you probably can't read either.
Yeah,
but my
your doctor
physician
can.
could.
Yeah.
My physician could read that,
Yeah.
and I can send it to them as well. And the other side would be my blood pressure. I did not take a blood pressure, but the great thing about it is you can take your blood pressure and do your EKG simultaneously.
Oh, okay. So one's not affecting the other.
Exactly.
Oh,
And your
excellent.
physician will love that, because if they see something in your EKG that's not right, they want to know what your blood pressure was, because that could tell them exactly what's happening with you. So it's just great information. It's not like this information is something they couldn't get before. It was just hard to get before because nobody did them at the same time.
Yeah.
We make it easy for you to do them at the same time.
Very cool. And this, as you say, has been available
Yes.
already. It's still on the market at what cost?
It's still on the market. Right now it's $149.99.
Okay.
So it's a little more expensive than your normal blood pressure monitor, but it gives you so much more.
Oh, I was going to say, it does so much more than your normal
It does so much
blood
more
pressure.
than your normal blood pressure
Yeah.
monitor. It's really great. And we launched it in 2020. We won awards from CES and all sorts of people. And we certainly will upgrade the model at some point. But first, let's grow the people that have awareness of AFib and are taking care of their heart, because the tool's already here.
Yeah.
And we can change the digital tool, just like I talked about changing the software. We change the software every 6 weeks again to adapt to what the needs of the user are.
Well, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly.
It's doing its job, and you update automatically anyway.
Yes.
It's certainly a good investment. And
Absolutely.
anyone in the family can use it.
Yes,
right?
anybody can use it. You can set it up with the guests. You can have your own history. You can have a guest history, or you can just a guest can take one and just take their history with them.
Oh, okay. And if everything remains normal, you don't have to worry about it. But if there's an issue, or will it tell me to notify your doctor there may be an issue?
It will tell you if there may be an issue. If you have a potential AFib or a potential other rhythm incident, it'll come up and tell you, and the instructions are to contact your physician. We're not doctors, and we don't want to tell you that something's really wrong. We want you to talk to your physician, and you could even send the reading right from your phone to your physician. They could see in the office they'd get that long tape you've seen. They would now see it on their screen, and they just move it across to the point where, here I see it, and they'd mark it, and away they go.
Love it. And I've never had good rhythm, but my heart's okay. So that's a whole other issue. And real quick, because we're fast running out of time, we heard about OMRON Connect. What's going on with that these days?
So OMRON Connect, we now have it set up to work with all of our blood pressure monitors.
Oh, good.
Originally, like Heart Guide and the Complete did not work with it. We've now have one app, all items.
So you pointed to your wrist just now, too, so we want to show Chris so we see that
That's
on
right.
camera.
We didn't talk about Heart Guide, but Heart Guide is our wrist monitor that we launched a few years back, the first wrist-based, wrist watch size blood pressure monitor in the world.
Okay.
But you can use all of our units with OMRON Connect now, and we've added some new features to OMRON Connect. The most exciting to me is the care feature. So what we're going to be able to do is, if you have it, you don't always want to send the readings to your doctor, but you might want to send it to your caretaker, your wife, your mother, your son, your best friend, and so that they know what's going on. In the past, you'd have to physically do all that. Now what we're going to allow is you can go in and say, I want to allow Ranndy to get my readings. You put in my email and address. You do it. I don't do it.
Right.
You do it. And then I get notification. I can go into the app. I can see your readings. So I can see when you're having challenges. And if it's a parent or a brother or sister or someone that's having problems, you can go in at any time and say, hey, they didn't take their blood pressure for 3 or 4 days. What's going on? I better give them a call.
Yeah.
So it's just another way to do that, and it's a great feature because it makes it really easy for someone to share without having to go through a lot of work.
Love it. CEO and president of OMRON Healthcare, Ranndy Kellogg. Let's make sure it's not this long before you come back on the show next time.
I will do that. Thank you.
Terrific. OMRONHealthcare.com. Very easy. And we'll get you there, of course, as we do with all of our guests when you visit us at intotomorrow.com. And if you're listening on the radio and you've yet to see the video, don't walk, I should say, to intotomorrow.com and check out the video of not only Ranndy and the cool things he's showing, but all of our guests this week in Las Vegas. From the Human Touch exhibit here in Vegas, I'm Dave Graveline. Stay tuned as Into Tomorrow continues right here on the Advanced Media Network.